How's it going, folks? This is Mike, Gray 1951, and I'm here to do a response video for both Forker Ball and DVD Collector 1974. They've been doing videos showing off their favorite DVD covers, okay, cover art. So it's kind of a fun idea, so I'm going to take part in this and also show you a couple of VHS covers because really some of the VHS covers that they were putting out long before the DVD era, sometimes that was the best thing about the VHS releases, was what they put on the cover. Now, this is something I want to show you. This is a VHS. This is the cover, the standard cover for a company that used to be called Foothill Video, which is no longer in business, I don't think. And they were a company that put out some very obscure, very hard to find films, B films, silent films, and a lot of old TV shows. For example, this is an episode or a couple of episodes of an old TV show from the 1950s called The Range Rider, and that's why I bought it, because I wanted to see that show. But most of the stuff they put out was very, very badly done. I mean, after a while I stopped buying them because the prints they used were just terrible, very difficult, sometimes impossible to watch. But what I like about this, somebody did some very good work on this cover. I think it's very, very nice. In the front you see Betty Davis and Joan Crawford, probably on the set of Whatever Happened to Baby Jane. Up here you have Laurel and Hardy. In the corner there's Mary Pickford. I believe, I'll let Ian tell me this, but I believe this is Buster Keaton. What do you think, Ian? Is that Buster Keaton? You also have in this corner Mae West and W.C. Fields from My Little Chickadee. I'm not sure who this actress is. It may be Clara Bow. Down here, I believe that's Harold Lloyd. I think it might be Harold Lloyd. I don't know who the actress is. But I just think that is a very creative cover, so I wanted to show you that. Anybody remember Foothill Video? It went out of business a long time ago, thank heavens. Okay, another VHS cover I'd like to show you, and the DVD release, which is the same film. This is an Italian comedy from 1964 called I Maniaci, which means the Maniacs, directed by none other than Lucio Fulci, okay, and starring, one of the stars of the film, as you can see in the center, is my beautiful lady Barbara Steele, okay? And here are all the Italian actors, Italian comedians who were also in the movie. And this is the DVD release, which is pretty much the same piece of art, although they translate the title into English. Now, this image of Barbara Steele, which is really very, very sexy, has nothing to do with the way she looks in the film. She doesn't wear anything like that. There's no scene of her being on a bed in lingerie. In fact, I don't even think that's Barbara Steele's body. She's never been that voluptuous in her whole life. I think they just stuck her face on someone else's body, and just for exploitation purposes. But it's a great poster, but it has nothing to do with the film. Maniacs, very interesting film. It is not a horror film, even though it's directed by Lucio Fulci. It is a comedy. Okay, another one with Barbara Steele. This is the cover of the fairly recent remastered version of Nightmare Castle, one of her very best Italian films from the year 1965. And this image on the cover is definitely Barbara's face, but it's not from the film. Once again, it's not from the film. And this is an image of Barbara from a sculpture that I remember seeing for sale on eBay about maybe 10 years ago or so, and I think maybe there was only one made. So that is not actually a photograph of her. That is someone making a sculpture of her face. It was actually, I believe it was of a sculpture of her entire body. But that is a fascinating image, and it's a great cover, but again, it has nothing to do with the film. So, okay, here are a couple of Mexican horror films that have very nice cover art. This is The Witch's Mirror. Isn't that great? Very creepy Mexican film, black and white. Here's another one called The Black Pit of Dr. M. Very interesting Mexican films. Okay, now here's one of my favorite pieces of artwork. This is from Something Weird Video, and it's a double bill of two Arch Hall Jr. classics, Wild Guitar and The Choppers. Okay, I think that is excellent cover art. Something Weird Video puts out some very interesting art. So yeah, Wild Guitar is a crazy, crazy movie. And finally, here are some horror film covers, some of which are kind of obscure, but I think the cover art is terrific. The Alligator People from 1959 or 1960, one of the two, starring Beverly Garland, Lon Chaney, and the guy on the cover, I think it's Robert Clark, yeah, who played the title role. Here's The Wasp Woman, directed by Roger Corman in 1960. How's that for a piece of art? Talk about fear of women. That's it. And here is a great movie from 1958 called The She-Demons. The beautiful blonde lady is Irish McCalla, and I have no idea who that is on the right, but that was a very freaky and great fun low-budget film. Here is a film that came out several years ago. It was meant as a parody of 1950s science fiction films. It's called The Lost Skeleton of Cadavra. Again, great cover art and a very funny movie. Okay. And here's a low-budget film that I like very much. Well, I don't like it very much, but I'm glad that I have it. It's called Blood of Ghastly Horror. Check that out. Blood of Ghastly Horror. That is a great piece of cover art. Now here's a movie that everybody needs to have on the shelf. This is Astro Zombies from 1967. Astro Zombies. Directed by a guy named, I think it was Ted W. Michaels. Ted W. Michaels. A very low budget film. John Carradine is in it. Tura Satana. Wendell Corey. Kino Lorber has just put out a remastered version of Astro Zombies. I have no idea why they would do such a thing, but they have. So, and here is one of my favorite films, and definitely one of my favorite bits of cover art from Ray Dennis Steckler's The Incredibly Strange Creatures Who Stopped Living and Became Mixed Up Zombies. Okay? You just can't get any better than that. And finally, for a complete departure, this had nothing to do with horror movies or anything like that. This is a beautiful cover. This is actually from a TV special in the year 1973, Liza with a Z. Look at that beautiful cover, the sparkly material. Liza with a Z, starring Liza Minnelli. And I believe the director of the special is Bob Fosse. I'm not sure. Yeah, it's directed by Bob Fosse. Now, in 1973, Liza Minnelli was at the peak of her fame as an actress. She had just done Cabaret. She won the Academy Award in 1973, and then she came out with a special, which was very, very well received. And I just think that is a beautiful cover, beautiful piece of art. Lots of 2-disc set, lots of extra features, and yeah. So Liza with a Z. And I brought some other things down that you may want to see. I don't know. Another obscure Barbara Steele Italian horror film called Terror Creatures from the Grave, which is really not such a great film, but that's a great piece of art. 2 versions of her probably worst horror film ever made, called The She-Beast. 2 versions of cover art for that. And also a film that I've shown before. This is a cover of a film that she made in 1970, I believe, another Italian film called Stop the World, I Want to Get Off. That is very cool cover art. That's from Trash Palace Cinema. And anyway, so that's my video cover art. Let me know what you think. That was just for fun. Okay, see you later.